This beautiful place is where we had our breakfast on our way to Latvia, which was my first ever travel abroad just for fun or vacation. I was there with my mom, who visited it 35 years ago, and two of her friends. This was a duty-free ship. I thought it was funny, and also I felt like in heaven because finally some Dior, some nice perfumes, and some pretty places and things to look at. We had a nice and smooth boarding, and I even thanked the pilots after we departed and came home. So this was my mom's friend who was sitting right beside me. I had one of the best seats in the plane, and there was not so many people coming from Norway to Latvia. That's why I had the whole row. It's funny for me because other people were closing their eyes and they were scared to look at the plane departing, like coming up from the airs, but I was so happy. It reminded me so much of my Tucson-Fried roller coasters experience, but it wasn't even that scary because here you're closed in the plane, while there it's open air and you feel every breath on your face. So I was happy and I was enjoying the view. I was like, oh wow, the skies are amazing, and I was on cloud 7 literally, and Norway looks beautiful, even more beautiful from the sky. You see all these little archipelagos or little islands, and how much mountains are there. It's just like beautiful. But the window wasn't that clean, so maybe it's not the perfect view, but this is just for me, okay? And also I was enjoying the flight, and I haven't flown in almost 2 years since I left my home and came to Norway, so I was literally happy. I just loved being in the air and looking at everything, and I regretted so much not taking my opera binoculars. Actually, I put them in the bag, but at the last moment I decided to leave them home because they're very unique and antique. I just don't know the rules of the flights, so I thought it's better to leave it home. I had a full Hannibal experience, so I manifested champagne because my mom's friend wanted some Prosecco, and I wanted some too, but I didn't tell anybody. And she just brought me half a glass of champagne, and I was sitting there enjoying it tremendously. I had a full Hannibal experience, like him in the end of the second season, flying with Bedelia and drinking on board, It's not very often that I drink champagne. It's actually only when I visit opera, and last time I did it like 2 months ago, so I decided I should have a treat. And the landing was amazing, and as I said, I was coming out of the gate and I noticed our pilots, and I said, thank you so much guys, it was an amazing flight. Also, I thanked our lovely cabin crew, and thank God that it all went smoothly, and I was so happy when we landed because I wasn't scared at all. I was just excited for the adventures. So we rented a car. It was not cheap, so they promised at the center it would cost like 70 euros for 6 days, but it took us freaking 400 because we had to pay the deposit. Also, we had to pay for parkings and for gas and insurance, and everything took so much time and energy and money that it would be literally cheaper to take taxis. The first place we headed to was this beautiful cafe with carps, and it was just beautiful. It was pretty expensive and it tasted like shit. I took some cold drink. It was accidentally, I thought it was warm, but turned out it was some iced coffee. It was 4.5 euros, but what the hell? In Latvia, a nice bottle of champagne cost the same money. But of course I didn't know it as soon as I arrived, so it's better just to sit there and watch the amazing carps. And I wondered about how much caviar is inside of them, but of course I know nothing about fish, so this is me trying that shitty drink because I wanted, of course I didn't want to kill the carps, but I wanted to pour it into the trash. And also we ordered a cake and it was freezing cold. Oh my gosh, literally I asked them to warm it up and they warmed it up, but still it was cold inside. This cafe is situated right in the center of the shopping center called Spice, but locals call it Spice. I don't know why, but it was just strange. So that was it. And then I was like, guys, I really wanted to go to opera, but everything was sold out yesterday. Let's check today. And guess what? I opened the tickets, and there's precisely 4 tickets available at Carmen. This was the opera I dreamed to see. So it was just 2 hours. We bought tickets before the performance, and we had to go shopping to buy me some shoes. And my mom found herself some shoes, but I didn't, so I had to wear my sneakers to opera. And it was the first time I did such a fail, but at least it was comfy. You should have seen me in just my underwear on the parking lot, putting on my dress, putting on my makeup as we were driving, because there were starting crazy lines on the road, and it took us so much time to go to the opera. And I was almost crying because at the store I had an autistic seizure, and because so much lights, so much music, and things weren't going as I planned them to. We understood it that we will be like 15 minutes late for the opera, and probably they won't let us in to see the first act. And I was just so stressed. And guess what? We didn't know how to park, and there were so many cars on the roads, and they were driving crazily. I mean, nobody drives like that in Norway. They're cutting each other, they're running from one side to another side just to go a little faster, and I was so not used to it. My first impression of old Riga was amazing but stressed, because we were in a huge hurry and we parked somewhere just to finally get to the opera, and we parked like 8 minutes of walk from the opera. So if we knew how to park, we could have come there on the right time. And also, as we were coming there, we noticed some movie being filmed right in the street. Then, of course, here's my face realizing that I skipped my favorite overture in Carmen. And guess what? They said, of course, you can't sit at the first act. You can watch it from the TV, or you can go to the third floor and stand there, but very quietly, and don't let anyone notice you. Here's everything I managed to film, because I was crying most of the time. I was crying the whole first act. First of all, because it didn't go perfectly as I wanted to, but also because the music was finally live, not like in Drummond's theater. And also the musicians and the singers were outstanding. Like, I mean, this is the world-class performance, and I was enjoying it truly. That was the best opera I ever heard in my life. And also Carmen by George Bizet. It's just something that touches my soul. The amazing music, the senses, the characters. And opera is the kind of art that always touches my soul. And just look at the beautiful view from the toilet right there. I just have to stop and film. So I think that will be all for the first part. Here's the public in Latvia. I enjoyed walking through a foyer when I had 5 minutes between acts, and the people there were so much more alive, but they weren't very friendly or smiling like Norwegians. But I could see that they were feeling something. They were not like cold, and you see me walking in my sneakers, and I was staring at everyone around, looking for something to see. So that was it for the first part.